99% of older men miss this timeless truth. And the cost? A slow erosion of their peace, power, and sense of purpose. It's not entirely their fault. The modern world bombards us with one message, that aging is a curse, a gradual slipping away of relevance, strength, and dignity. We are told to chase youth at all costs, to fear every wrinkle, every gray hair, every quiet moment that reminds us that time is moving forward. But the ancient Stoics saw things differently, radically differently. They believed that aging isn't a decline, but a culmination. A man's later years are not his downfall. They are his crowning chapter, the phase where wisdom sharpens, distractions fall away, and his true character is forged in the fires of experience. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." To the Stoics, aging is power, if you understand how to use it. And that's where most men fail. They focus outward on what they're losing, rather than inward on what they're gaining: clarity, stillness, and the chance to become something greater than they've ever been before. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how true Stoic wisdom can transform your later years into the most powerful, peaceful, and purposeful season of your life. You'll see that aging is not something to resist, but something to embrace, fully and fiercely. If you've ever felt the quiet weight of time pressing on your shoulders, this is the message you've been waiting for. You've seen it. Men who spent decades chasing success, building wealth, status, reputation. From the outside, they look accomplished. But inside, they feel a quiet hollowness, restless, isolated, drifting. It's not because they failed. It's because they were never taught the one skill that matters most: the art of mastering their own mind. They conquered businesses, but not their thoughts. They controlled empires, but not their desires. And when the noise of youth fades, when the spotlight dims, they are left face to face with themselves, often for the first time. The Stoics knew this trap well. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoicism isn't a theory, it's a discipline of the soul, a way to build unshakable peace, deep resilience, and clarity in a world that keeps pulling you outward. And for men entering the later chapters of life, this wisdom isn't just useful, it's essential. Because the greatest battle is no longer out there, it's in here. In this video, we're diving into 7 timeless Stoic principles that every older man must know. Foundations of wisdom that fortify your inner strength, sharpen your peace of mind, and build true resilience that outlasts anything life throws your way. If you've ever asked yourself how to remain grounded, powerful, and deeply purposeful as the years advance, this isn't just advice. It's the blueprint for living well, aging with dignity, and holding fast to your unshakable core. You've stepped away from the endless race, no longer chasing status, approval, or applause. The noise of the world fades, but instead of feeling lost, you feel more centered than ever. You sit in quiet strength, calm, clear-minded, and unshaken. Praise doesn't inflate you. Criticism doesn't wound you, because your worth is no longer measured by fleeting opinions or external rewards. It's rooted deep in character, in virtue, in unbreakable self-mastery. People feel it when you walk into a room. They sense a man who is at peace with himself, who leads not by noise but by presence. A man who doesn't need to prove anything, because he embodies everything that matters. That is the power of living by Stoic wisdom, and it's within your reach if you choose to walk the path. If you're committed to reclaiming your strength, wisdom, and presence as a Stoic man, like this video, subscribe and turn on notifications. We're building something rare here, a brotherhood of men who refuse to weaken with age, men who choose to rise, to sharpen, and to embody true resilience, no matter what life brings. Insight 1. Memento Mori, the power of facing death. Let's get real for a moment. If you're an older man watching this, you already know. Life moves faster than we ever expected. One day you were 30, blink, and now you're 60, 70, maybe more. And whether we admit it or not, there's a quiet question that starts to haunt every man as he ages. How much time do I really have left? The truth? We don't know. And that's exactly why the Stoics made this one of their core teachings. Memento mori. It means, remember that you must die. Now at first that might sound dark or even depressing, but here's the twist the Stoics understood. Thinking about death isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. You see, most men avoid thinking about their own mortality. They distract themselves, TV, work, hobbies, small talk, anything to avoid facing the truth. But avoiding death doesn't stop it from coming. It just makes you waste the precious time you do have left. Marcus Aurelius, one of the wisest Stoics, put it simply, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. That's powerful. He's telling us, don't live like you've got forever. You don't. When you let that truth sink in, something amazing happens. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop getting caught up in petty drama or chasing other people's approval. You start to focus on what's real, on what matters most. And here's the thing most men don't realize. The older you get, the more valuable your time becomes. Not because you have more of it, but because you have less. And that scarcity is what makes every moment priceless. The Stoics believe that a man who accepts death fully and calmly becomes unstoppable. Why? Because when you no longer fear the end, you finally know how to truly live. You act with purpose. You love your family deeper. You let go of regrets. You make peace with the past and focus on the present. Think about it. What's really holding you back right now? What arguments, grudges, or regrets are you still carrying? Would any of that matter if you knew your time was almost up? Memento mori isn't a punishment, it's a gift. A daily reminder that you are alive today, and that's all that's guaranteed. Everything else? Bonus. So let me ask you directly. If today was your last day, would you be satisfied with how you lived it? If not, that's your sign to make a change. Right now. Not tomorrow. Because a Stoic man doesn't fear death. He faces it. And in doing so, he becomes fully alive. Insight 2. Amor fati, the power of loving your fate. Let's talk about something every man faces, especially as he gets older. Disappointment, setbacks, loss. Maybe it's your health that's changed. Maybe your career didn't go the way you hoped. Maybe you've faced betrayal, heartbreak, or the quiet ache of dreams that never fully came true. Whatever it is, here's what life has taught you by now. Things don't always go as planned, and that truth can either break you or build you. This is where the Stoics were different. They didn't just accept fate, they did something far more radical. They loved it. Amor fati. That's Latin for love of fate. Let's pause on that for a second. They're not saying, put up with bad luck. They're not saying, pretend to be happy when things fall apart. They're saying something far deeper. Embrace everything that happens to you, as if you had chosen it yourself. Think about that. The struggles, yours. The setbacks, yours. The losses, yours. The victories and the failures, all yours. Marcus Aurelius wrote, a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. In other words, life throws wood, scraps, even garbage at you, and you turn it into fuel. That's amor fati. It's the mindset that says, this is my story, all of it, not just the good chapters, but the painful ones too. And I wouldn't trade them, because they shaped the man I am. Now let's be real, most men don't think this way. Most men get bitter. They replay old wounds. They point fingers and say, why me? And as they grow older, that bitterness calcifies, turning them hard, resentful, even angry at the world. But a Stoic man? He flips the script. He understands. Life isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. That shift in thinking, it's everything. Because when you own your fate, love it, claim it, you unlock real power. Not the fake power of controlling everything around you, but the deep, unshakable power of controlling how you respond. And let's be clear, Loving your fate doesn't mean you enjoy suffering. It means you find meaning in it. You ask, what can I learn here? How is this shaping me? What strength is this building in me that comfort never could? Seneca, another great Stoic, put it like this: a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. You want to become stronger, wiser, more grounded. That doesn't happen in easy times. It happens when life tests you, and you rise to meet it. So I'll ask you straight, what in your life have you been resisting? What pain, what loss, what change have you been fighting against? Amr Fadi challenges you to stop fighting and start embracing. Because when you love your fate, truly love it, you stop being a victim. You become the author of your story, no matter what's written on the page. That is the mark of a Stoic man. Insight 3. The discipline of desire, mastering what you crave. Let's be honest. As men, we are wired to want. We want comfort. We want success. We want pleasure, security, recognition. And as we get older, those desires don't just fade. They often become more stubborn. But here's the trap. Most men never stop to ask whether the things they desire are actually good for them. They chase what feels urgent, not what's truly valuable. And slowly, without realizing it, they become slaves to their own cravings. The Stoics saw this clearly. They taught that true freedom doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from mastering what you want. Seneca said it best: it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Let that sink in. Poverty isn't always about money. You can be rich and still feel empty. You can have everything and still feel like it's not enough. That's what happens when desire controls you. And here's the hard truth most men miss. The more you chase comfort, the weaker you become. The more you seek constant pleasure, the less satisfied you feel. The more you crave recognition, the more fragile your confidence becomes. It's a vicious cycle, and by the time many men hit their later years, they realize they've spent decades chasing things that never truly fulfilled them. So what's the Stoic solution? The discipline of desire. This means taking a hard look at your life and asking, what am I craving right now? Is this making me stronger, or is it making me soft? Am I in control of my desires, or are they controlling me? The Stoics practiced intentional restraint. They fasted when food was available. They slept on hard floors even when they had soft beds. Not because they were punishing themselves, but because they knew that by choosing discomfort, they were training their minds to be stronger than their urges. Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. That includes unchecked desires. So here's my question for you. Right now, what's one desire in your life that you know is weakening you? Is it a craving for approval, for constant comfort, for things that deep down don't align with your highest self? The Stoic man isn't cold or emotionless, but he is disciplined. He knows that peace doesn't come from satisfying every itch. It comes from rising above them. And when you master your desires, you gain something priceless: clearer judgment, inner freedom, and the ability to stand firm in a world full of distractions and temptations. That's the strength most men never build, and it's yours, if you choose it. Insight 4. Voluntary discomfort, the path to true strength. Let's face it, we live in a world that worships comfort. Everything is designed to make life easier, softer, more convenient. And as we get older, it becomes tempting to settle in, take it easy, and avoid anything that feels uncomfortable. But here's the hard truth. Comfort is a slow killer. It weakens your body, it dulls your mind, and worst of all, it robs you of your edge. The Stoics knew this long before the modern world did. They practiced something radical: voluntary discomfort. That means choosing to be uncomfortable on purpose, not because they had to, but because they wanted to stay strong, sharp, and prepared. Seneca wrote, set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, is this the condition I feared? Why? Because they understood that when you train your mind and body to handle discomfort, two powerful things happen. 1. Fear loses its grip. The things that used to scare you, poverty, hunger, hardship, become small in your eyes. You realize I can handle far more than I thought. 2. You build resilience. You don't just survive challenges, you grow stronger from them. And when real hardship hits, and it will, you're ready while other men crumble. Let's bring this closer to home. As an older man, you've probably earned the right to rest. And sure, you deserve peace. But don't confuse peace with softness. You have to choose challenge every single day if you want to stay strong. That could mean pushing your body, whether it's walking, lifting, cycling, or stretching, training your mind, reading hard books, facing uncomfortable truths, learning new skills, practicing restraint, skipping a meal, turning off the TV, saying no when it's hard. The point isn't to torture yourself. The point is to remind yourself that you are still in control, that you are capable, that you don't need comfort to feel powerful. Epictetus said it best. Difficulties show men what they are. So ask yourself today, what's one comfort you've been leaning on too much? And what's one challenge you can choose today to keep your edge sharp? Because here's the truth. A stoic man never lets comfort steal his strength. He stays ready, he stays sharp. Even in his later years, he chooses the hard path, because that's where true power lives. Insight 5. The power of solitude, turning loneliness into strength. Let's talk about something no one likes to admit, especially as we get older. Loneliness. Maybe your kids have moved out. Maybe old friends have drifted away. Maybe the busy noise of life has quieted, and now you spend more time alone than ever before. For a lot of men, this hits hard. It can feel like a slow fading into the background, like the world is moving on without you. And the natural reaction? To fill the silence. Turn on the TV, scroll on your phone, stay busy, just to avoid being alone with your thoughts. But here's where the Stoics were different. They didn't run from solitude. They embraced it. Epictetus said, "A man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things." Why? Because they knew something most men never learn. Solitude is not your enemy. It's your training ground. When you're alone, without distractions, you're left with the one thing that truly matters, yourself. And that's where the real work begins. Reflecting on your life, understanding your mistakes and learning from them, reconnecting with your deepest values, away from the noise of the world. You see, there's a huge difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness feels empty. Solitude, when embraced, feels powerful. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Imagine that. The deepest peace you're searching for isn't out there. It's inside you. But here's the challenge. Most men never learn how to be alone well. They avoid silence. And because of that, they never tap into the full power of reflection and stillness. So here's my challenge to you. Make solitude your practice, not your punishment. Spend 10 minutes today sitting in silence, no phone, no distractions. Journal your thoughts. Get honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to be. Reflect on your values. What really matters in this next chapter of your life? Because here's the truth. A man who can sit alone with himself and feel strong, unshaken, is a man no one can break. Solitude practiced well turns emptiness into clarity. It sharpens your mind, deepens your peace, and reconnects you to your true self. That's not loneliness. That's stoic power. Insight 6. Silent leadership. Leading by example, not noise. By the time you reach your later years, you've seen a lot of noise. You've seen men who shout, who demand respect, who try to control everyone around them. And you've seen where that gets them. Temporary power, maybe, but little lasting respect. The Stoics taught a different kind of leadership, one that's quiet, steady, and unshakable. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled one of the greatest empires in history, said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Read that again, because it holds a truth many men miss. Real leadership isn't about talking. It's about being. In your family, in your friendships, in your community, you don't need to make speeches or prove your worth. You need to live your values so clearly that others can't help but notice. Are you calm under pressure? Do you keep your word, even when it's hard? Do you act with integrity, even when no one's watching? That's leadership. And here's what's powerful. People are always watching, even when you think they aren't. Your children, your grandchildren, your friends, they see how you handle life's storms. They notice whether you crumble or whether you stand strong. And you don't do it for applause. You do it because it's who you are. Stoicism teaches that the best leaders are masters of themselves first. They don't try to control others. They control their own thoughts, emotions, and actions. And by doing that, they naturally influence everyone around them. Ask yourself today, what kind of example am I setting, especially when things go wrong? Am I living in a way that others can quietly respect and learn from? Remember, loud men get attention, but steady men build legacies. Be the man who doesn't just talk about Stoic wisdom. Be the living proof of it. That's the kind of leadership that lasts. Insight 7. Legacy over ego. What will truly outlive you? Let's face one of life's deepest questions. What will remain when you're gone? It won't be your car. It won't be your title or the size of your house. Even your achievements, the things you work so hard for, will eventually fade into the background of history. The Stoics taught something far more enduring. Your true legacy is your character. It's how you lived, how you loved, and how you lifted others. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, what we do now echoes in eternity. That means every single choice, no matter how small, leaves an imprint. The way you treat your family, the integrity you hold when no one's watching, the quiet courage you show in hard times. This is what defines you. This is what outlives you. But here's where many men stumble. As they age, they can become trapped in ego, clinging to status, recognition, and the desire to be remembered for the wrong reasons. The Stoics call us to rise above that. Don't seek to look important. Seek to be good. Because in the end, it's not the size of your empire. It's the depth of your impact. It's not about how many people knew your name. It's about how many lives you touched and made better. Seneca gave us a sharp warning. While we wait for life, life passes. That's a wake-up call. Stop waiting for the right time to build your legacy. You're building it right now, every word, every action, every moment. So I ask you, man to man, what do you want your life to stand for? And are your daily actions reflecting that vision? Because ego fades fast. But a life of true virtue? That echoes for generations. You've just walked through 7 powerful Stoic insights, each one a tool to help you reclaim your strength, deepen your wisdom, and build a life of purpose, no matter your age. Here's the truth. Aging is not your enemy. It's your final, greatest arena, the place where your character is tested and your true self is revealed. Most men shrink as they age, but the Stoic man, he rises, he sharpens, he becomes unshakable. Now the question is, will you let these insights pass by like another video you watched, or will you take them and live them? Because wisdom means nothing if it's not applied. And the world needs more men who live with quiet strength, deep purpose, and unwavering presence. If you're ready to embody that, like this video, subscribe, and join this growing brotherhood of Stoic men who refuse to fade quietly. Drop a comment below. Which insight hits you the hardest? And what's one step you'll take today to live it out? This is your time. Make it count.